the entire economy can even change before you know within 5 months. Inflation, as when this budget was submitted, is not inflation that we have right now. Exchange rate between that time and now is not the same thing. So many factors have actually necessitated this adjustment. So it's not called budget party this time around because the executive were carried along. I heard when the chairman was saying the other time of the committee that they carried the executive along, that these social figures will be changed, and they
Mr. Mabinuri, I believe that every single ministry made a presentation into what became the budget.
Yes,
Ministry of Education will bring their figures, Health will bring, I assume that's what happens.
Yes,
so, are you therefore saying that the parliamentarians know more about what is happening in the Ministry of Education better than those who are actually in the ministry, who have presented those figures as their requirement for this financial year?
Based on what they said they carried all of them along. They carried the ministry along, they carried the executive along. And expectedly, let's just be realistic, there should be some changes between when, if it's a budget that was worked upon within two months, or we can say within 2 months, the economy is expected, the variables are still expected to be the same. But a period of 5 months, the entire variable in that whatever can change. Look at what it took us to lose revenue in the Niger Delta. It wasn't up to 5 months when they started the bombing last time. And from 2.2 million barrels we expected last year, it went down to 1.1 million barrels per day. So that's to tell you that so many things can happen within a space of 5 months. So those figures, as far as I'm concerned, are expected to change. So the magnitude of change is what we really can't say, whether they actually consulted the right people or they consulted the ministry, that is the bottom line, those that actually will be affected by this figure. So because if we want to go into the figures, for instance, like for instance education, we have a recurrent expenditure for education for about 400 billion, while the capital is just 56.7 billion. If you look at it, it's just like someone that has a seed that, and maybe you have a farm produce that is not enough to feed you a night, and someone is telling you if you hit this thing you will die tomorrow, or if you plant it, it grows, brings in more food. So if you don't pay attention to education, we are not ready to move out of this future cycle. Because if you look at it, why is our budget, even the budget we are talking about, I hope we all know that in real time the budget of this year is lower than the budget of last year. Budget of last year was 6.09 trillion, and exchange rate was put at 197. If you divide that, that's about $30 billion in terms of dollar exchange. But look at what we have right now, 7.441 trillion, and exchange rate is put at 305 per dollar. So if you divide that, we have something about $23 billion. Do you understand? That's even to tell you that even the budget of this year is actually in relative term lower than, in real term, lower than budget of last year. Do you understand? What's costing all this? If our budget is about 20 trillion, is not too much for us as a nation to cater for a population of almost 200 million. So, but the problem is the revenue is even meager. The so-called oil we are depending on is not even enough to fund even the recurrent expenditure, the capital expenditure. To talk of recurrent expenditure, that's about 70% of the budget. So the main problem is, let's go back to the roots. Let's plant the seed, and the seed is education. Let's train our students, our children, on how to generate revenue, not coming out of the university and who will employ me. Become employer yourself, because this is very simple. If you have 1 million people and all of them are working as middle cadre because they don't have the skill, and they're collecting like 50,000 naira per month, government will collect tax on that 50,000. But if we empower them, give them the right education to generate wealth, and each of them is making 5 million naira per month, for instance, government will also collect tax on that 5 million. So before you know it goes back to the government. So it's just that everybody is scared of planting the seed because they don't want to. Everybody wants scorecard. Okay, I did this within my administration. But when are we going back to education? Look at the capital budget, for instance, based on UNESCO, projection for every developing nation. They said the education budget should be about 26% of the national budget. But what do we have there? The capital budget that we have here is 56.7, which is even less than 10% of the budget, and we are saying the economy should grow. For instance, in our national institution, in our institution, the issue of internet access shouldn't be a luxury; it should be a necessity. Yeah. Do you understand? That's why. See, there was the day I saw the advert of one of our telecommunication company we have in Nigeria, and I was like, this is a pointer to telling government that they are not doing the right thing. They use Unilag, for instance, for that advertisement, that when you enter the campus, you can browse from morning till night, but when you come out, you are off the bonus or what have you. That's to tell you that there is a direct correlation between development in education and internet access. If you go even ordinary South Africa, let's even leave UK, leave US. South Africa, every university you enter, there is free Wi-Fi everywhere. But here, a student wants to get his assignment done, want to read online, want to do this. He's still using his money, little amount given to him, to buy data.
So no incentive to do study.
So no incentive to even study. I'm not saying education. It's not just the infrastructure we're even talking about. What about the curriculum? What they are teaching us right now, is that what we should be learning in this 21st century? Yeah, I think there is a big disparity. And let me just paraphrase the definition of quality in project management. They always say that quality is a meeting customers' requirements. If you produce a very fantastic car and it doesn't meet what I want, you have not done anything. There's no quality in it. So if the companies are saying these people are not employable, why not go to them? What are the qualities that you want in a graduate? Then let's incorporate that into our curriculum. Take, for instance, the banking industry. It's someone that goes to the university and study 4 years and stays 4 years in the university to study banking and finance will come out of the bank. Will come out of the university, get employed in a bank in Nigeria, and still go through their training for 6 months. That means there is a disconnect somewhere. Why can't the banking department in the university go to those banks?
What are your requirements?
What are your requirements? What are you training them? Let us inculcate from 100 level to 400 level, or let them say the 400 level is whatever you're going to be done, whatever you're going to do in the training, in the what's it called? The
practicals.
The practical is what we are teaching you here. So that when you come out, you become employable. You will say you are studying business administration in the university, and you come out, you cannot administer even selling of pure water. There's a problem somewhere. And until we get this done, it must still remain its future cycle. So what I'm saying is, if government can do this, I'm sure the source of income will expand. The attention on oil today, oil tomorrow will be diverted, and before you know it, the budget will be, in fact, more than twice of what we have right now, because it's all about income generation, even for the government.
Dr. Adi, I wanted us to move from the education side to look at the macroeconomic indicators, but let's stick with that education bit for a while. Now, you are a lecturer.
Yes.
Now, you meet these students every day, and you talk with them, you have an idea what they're thinking or what they're thinking government should be like. And you hear some of them complain about government, no job out there, government not doing the things they ought to do. But see this, when you see this kind of budget year in, year out, do you think there's any plan, or does it look like there's any plan to see a growth in any area of the economy? Tying back to the macroeconomic indicators now, real GDP, for instance, in 2016, the target was 4.1%. Now, we ended up with 3.6% provisionally. Now, in 2017, the target is 6.3. Okay. Looks like it's 6.3. Now, that's oil sector. Non-oil, 2016, 4.6, real, 4.6, and this year again, 4.6%. With this kind of targets, do we look like we are going somewhere? Do we have the line
making progress?
Well, there are times when you look at the budget, you feel that it is a back of the envelope calculation, especially when you look at it over time.
When you say back of the envelope, please break it down.
Back of the envelope calculation means that it is not based on anything. So you can't say there are some good planning or good statistics or data backing it up. Okay, it's not evidence-based suddenly, Just like my colleague was talking about education, I was just laughing because I was having the same conversation with one of my research assistants just yesterday evening in my office, okay, about what is happening in the educational system, how the educational system is completely out of pace with the industry. So there is a complete breakdown of any sort of linkage, what you call industry, academic, or the gown and the industry and the academic.
Disconnect.
It's a complete disconnect. Okay, you see an engineer graduating from the Nigerian university, but he can't do anything. And then I was talking about these things, the reason, because I want to go to the basics before I go to the macroeconomic issues. Now, let's look at the quality of policy making in Nigeria and who makes policies for us. So it is important for us to really interrogate all these things. My argument is this, and I know that I'm open for criticism. We fly in Nigerians who are working abroad to make policies for us. I don't see anything